Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. We're about to get started here soon. Bitcoin's still dropping. All right. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Got some viewers here. All right. Let me turn the music down here for you guys. Oh. All right. Hopefully the music's not too loud for you guys. I think that should be fine for now. So let me know if I need to turn the volume down, guys. Let's get started here. On the Meet Damien channel, we're looking at the price of Bitcoin dropping down to $110,800. Coming up on a key support level here. Support area at $110,000, $300 Bitcoin, where we have the 100-day moving average, that blue line. We're hoping that could act as support. We haven't had to use that as support for a while here, okay? But what I've seen, in previous price action going back to earlier in December of 2024 and January 2025, when we came through that 100-day moving average, we actually sliced right through it. So 100-day moving average could act as support, but we could get sliced right through it and come right down to the 200-day moving average like we did here in February of 2025 here. So I'm not quite sure if this 100-day moving average is going to act as support, but we shall see. You would think like some buy orders would start coming in, and they would at least try to defend this for a couple of days here before we have to resort to the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is sitting at $104,000 Bitcoin. That's the last line of defense here for Bitcoin. If we lose 108 to 110K, we could come down to that 200-day moving average, which is also confluent with the 0.236 level at $104,000 Bitcoin. So we shall see. We shall see if Bitcoin is going to hang out at this area. We could still make a higher low from here compared to what we did on Monday when we got Monday, September 1st, when we came down to $107,250 Bitcoin. Or we might have to actually come down to that level, make a double bottom, and then launch our way up to higher prices here. But we're starting to get into some interesting areas for us to take some longs if we're inclined to do so here. I would not be anxious to short Bitcoin. I would probably, if I was to short Bitcoin, I would do low leverage and a looser stop loss. Because I think we're about to get into some bouncing territory where we could bounce off 107 or 108K, give one last fight in this area before we go up, before we end up going to higher prices here. But we could also get a bounce right now off of this 110K area at that 100-day moving average. So we're still not quite sure what we're going to get, okay? But these are some areas we're kind of like in the red zone. Okay, and then the danger zone is like right here at 107K. If we lose 107K, then we'll definitely be in really deep shit with Bitcoin. But we still got 104K below us to act as support. Now let me go ahead and turn on the VRVP, see what the VRVP is showing here. You see that we also have a value area low at 104K Bitcoin. This is an area that a lot of people were buying Bitcoin back here in late May, going into June earlier this year. And now this actually ends up becoming a point of control as I zoom out with more data here. But 104K is a very important area for us to hold for support right below us if we lose the 108K, 107K area. Okay. But yeah, the VRVP data is showing that we should get some support anywhere between 107 to 110K. You get some high volume nodes here. You got high volume node here, high volume node here, high volume node here. So, okay, so you got some nodes here to look for that will give us some support for Bitcoin. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Nick Chigo saying, hello, can I ask for help? I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that for you. Crypto down, and you're cooked. Oh, geez, HDZZ. Hopefully you're not that cooked, but yeah, I mean, prices can go down viciously and violently for the altcoins here. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance to get a bigger picture outlook about Bitcoin and crypto here. But I can see that you have a request here. You want me to take a look at Cardano and what's this looking like? All right, we'll take a look at Cardano. And then we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance after that. And let me see. I see Kevin Hawthorne's in the YouTube live stream here. Good afternoon to you as well, Kevin. Good to see you. All right. Let me get over to Cardano here. Let's see what Cardano's doing right now. Cardano currently trading at 77 cents. I have talked about Cardano in previous live streams. Pretty sure we talked about it yesterday or definitely the day before that. But Cardano does have some moving average supports to help protect it from going down to lower prices here, you would think. You get the 50-day moving average at 77 cents. That's kind of like where we're at right now. We're going to see if that holds that support for Cardano. If not, then we do have the 100-day moving average right below us. That's at 75 cents. And then the 200-day moving average is below that as well at 73, 74 cents. And that's confluent with this 0.5 retracement level here. If you're able to see that, hopefully you're able to see that at 73 cents. You would think 73 cents should hold for Cardano if it does decide to go to lower prices here. And even if you did come down to 73 cents, that would still be a higher low compared to what you did here in the beginning of August when we got down to 68 cents for Cardano. Okay. If we're not making higher lows, then maybe this ends up being a double bottom for Cardano, where we come down to 68 cents before we finally get a little bit of a relief rally here. Okay. Those are your downside targets for Cardano. Upside targets, you're just trying to get right back to the 786 retracement at 85 cents. And then, of course, get back up to 93 cents like we saw with these candlewick tops here. You got 93 cents was where we were at here on September 13th and also here on September 18th and the 19th before we got rejected down to lower prices here. So your upside target for now is 85 cents and 93 cents for Cardano before we can even talk about getting it to $1. But there is some fib extension levels up there as well at $1.04 and $1.18 for Cardano. But you have to start to wonder if this is ended up becoming like a double top here that's sending us to lower prices for Cardano. We shall see, but the way things are playing out, it's not looking good making this lower high compared to what you did here in the middle of August. So that is working against us. The lower high, possible double top. And I think most of the violence has occurred already on Cardano. But you do got some support below you. That moving average support, you would think, should act as support anywhere between 73 to 77 cents right now. All right, moving on from Cardano, let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance. Where's my BTC dominance? There it is. So we can see that Bitcoin dominance is climbing. It's at 59%. We'll look at the daily chart for Bitcoin dominance. And I was already starting to worry about Bitcoin dominance climbing up on us because we did see some bullish divergence here on the chart. Let me just go ahead and get rid of some of these indicators here. But looking at the RSI, you had higher lows being formed here on the RSI for Bitcoin dominance, but you had lower lows on the asset itself. And what this ends up looking like is it ends up looking like this, where you got these lines. If they were to be extended out further, they would actually converge on this on each other. And this is bullish divergence, which in this case not good for altcoins. Okay, you want oh man, what's going on here with my chart here? Do I need to refresh my chart here? You know, with bullish divergence, right, it just means that Bitcoin dominance is going to start creeping up, which is not good for the altcoins. Okay. And if Bitcoin dominance does creep up, how much higher could it possibly go? We do have a 50-day moving average. That green line could act as a resistance at 61.1%. We're about a couple of percentage points away from that, but you would think like that would act as resistance initially before we go down to hopefully a lower percentage on Bitcoin dominance. But this is not good for the altcoin market. Us starting to creep up like this. Let's see. There might be some resistance here at 59.6%. We had some sideways trading action in that area. But yeah, Bitcoin dominance creeping up, no bueno for the altcoins. And that's what you're getting right now. And I would think there should be some resistance at 61%. Let's go ahead and turn the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to show. Yeah, you got some volume nodes here. And you got a pretty high volume node here at 61%. So I'm just going to say 61% is about as high as Bitcoin dominance should get before we get a rejection and possibly see Bitcoin dominance go down to lower levels here. But if we get past 61%, there's nothing stopping it from jumping all the way up to 64%, where you got the value area high sitting over there. And that was a percentage that we were at back here in June. We were at like 64 or 65% on Bitcoin dominance. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's move on to USDT dominance. This is going to show us how scared people are in the markets right now. We have USDT dominance at 4.66%, creeping up to higher levels. And that's no bueno either, because this is the amount of Tether that's in the market. If more money is going into Tether, that means people are selling their cryptocurrency, and they're just going into Tether, which is a stable coin, to prevent them from losing any more money in the cryptocurrency world here. So that's no bueno. And I was already starting to worry about USDT dominance creeping up, because I have identified in previous live streams, and we've been monitoring this for like the last couple of months, but you had a left shoulder here, a head, and a right shoulder. This is an inverted head and shoulder pattern, which if it plays out, it means we usually go up to the upside. And seeing more upside on Tether is not good for the altcoins. Not good for crypto. If this thing was to play out, right, the measured move, just measuring from the top of the head, well, you got to think this is like an upside down person here. But you measure from the top of the head to like the neckline on the shoulder. You take that measured move and you just put it on top of the where we could break out here on the neckline. And it's saying that we could see Tether dominance creep up to like 5.14%. 5.14% is a percentage that we were at back here in June. When remember when the United States was dropping bombs over Iran? Yeah, that's the same kind of level of scaredness that the market might see in the next few weeks here, next few days. And I'm not sure what the catalyst would be for that. Maybe, you know, I see these Russian airplanes violating the airspace in NATO. Maybe NATO actually shoots down a Russian airplane that has a Russian pilot in it, and then you got World War III going. And if World War III is going, what does that say for crypto and the markets? It's not going to be pretty, right? If we have a major conflict with Russia, it's not going to be good. And that's what the markets are trying to sniff out right now. Okay. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments here. So we're looking at USDT dominance creeping up. I see that we have made higher lows here on USDT dominance, so that's not good. And then the other thing I'm worried about here is we're making higher highs on USDT dominance, and right now we're breaking out of this this potential ascending triangle that we're in on USDT dominance. We have made higher highs, and ever so slightly higher high. Here in August, we were at like 4.6%. And then later on in September 1st, we were at 4.61%. And now here we are at 4.66% on tethered dominance. The fear is starting to come into the markets. However, we could get rejected off this 200-day moving average at 4.75% tethered dominance. I'm not sure what's going to cause us to go even higher. We do have a PCE inflation report coming out tomorrow morning. Could show that we are still having problems with inflation in the United States. And maybe that actually sends us up to that 200-day moving average before we get rejected. Okay. But there's no guarantee that we're actually going to get rejected. We could slice right through that 200-day moving average and continue up to the target here at 5.1% to the dominance. So it's looking pretty scary and spooky in the markets right now. And I'm glad you guys are here with me to take a look at the charts here, because I have seen these worrying signs over the last couple of weeks, couple of months here, and it looks like it's playing out here. I wasn't a big fan subscribing to the super cycle theory. I know some people are like, oh, super cycle, this time's different. Oh, we got ETF money coming in from institutions, putting into crypto. But that doesn't, I mean, ETF money can easily drop out of Bitcoin and crypto. You can get as much outflow as you do inflow, and that could wreck the price of Bitcoin. Okay? So yeah, there's still human emotions in the market. And, you know, we're still waiting on some positive catalysts. We're still waiting on like an ETF for Solana, XRP, and some of these other altcoins out there, which we might get going into October. That might be what saves us in October here. Okay? But just the way things are looking right now, you know, the Federal Reserve is not really anxious to cut interest rates anymore. We got that going on because they think the economy is doing fine. We had a GDP report that came out this morning saying that, you know, Q2 GDP in the United States is fine. So there's not really a rush for them to lower interest rates, and that was what the market was betting on. So we're seeing the market taking rate cuts off the table right now. We had unemployment claims early this morning saying that unemployment is doing fine as well. There's not that many people filing unemployment claims, but that's a lagging indicator, so I'm not sure if they should really hold on to that. But just a lot of things this morning and this week is showing that we might not get any relief or help from the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. And a lot of this market action over the last few days and weeks here was betting on more interest rate cuts for later on this year. And now we're looking like we're not going to get those interest rate cuts. And the market is responding accordingly by lowering the prices on crypto. And even the stock market's not doing well. Oh, here we go. Bitcoin at $109,000 Bitcoin. And let's see. I want to take a look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones, for the stock market guys out there, Dow Jones is down 0.4%. We're at 45,900 points here. You know, it's hard for the Federal Reserve to justify interest rate cuts when the market's already at all-time highs. Same thing with the S&P 500. It's down right now. In the last few days, it's been a few bad days here for the S&P 500, but still near all-time highs on the S&P 500. And then the NASDAQ, currently at 22,390. Coming down as well. But you would think that we would get a bounce off the 21 EMA that has been acting as support over the last 5 months right now, since April. We've been using that 21 EMA as support, that white line there. Good to see you joining the live stream here, Dad, and Mario. Good to see you as well, Mario. But yeah, it's looking pretty rough as far as like interest rate cuts. The markets are taking the rate cuts off the table now, based on the economic data that's coming out. And the economic data is what the Federal Reserve goes off of for interest rate cuts. So it's all tied together here. And we're just trying to see how far down Bitcoin's going to go down for the cryptocurrency guys out there. You would think we would get a bounce off of 100-day moving average, but looks like we're about to slice through that right now. We could come and revisit the levels that we saw here at the end of August, beginning of September, when we saw $107,000 Bitcoin all over again here. And it's getting tough to day trade the markets because we go up, we go down, obviously. But it seems like they're coming for the longs and the shorts here. The best way to trade over the last couple of days was to just be shorting with a loose stop loss and not that much leverage. And you could have rode this move down here on Bitcoin to these lower prices, where we saw Bitcoin as high as $118,000 last Thursday, $117,998. But we lost about a 7,000 point move here on Bitcoin, going down to these lower levels here. Let's see. We got Steve Hickey in the chat, and I see Trade Intuition. Good to see you, Trade Intuition. Yep, and look, just like Trade Intuition said, smash that like button if you guys haven't already. Appreciate you guys smashing the like button. Oh, I got a good amount of people. Almost everybody from Trade Intuition just came on and joined in. We got 24 people in the live stream right now. So I guess I could redo my thoughts here about Bitcoin. Let me just see. John 316 came in, says smash the like button, and saying that we are in trouble. We don't need rate cuts. Well, we might not need rate cuts, but the market was pricing in rate cuts. So that's why we're seeing the prices go down, because we're taking the rate cuts off the table right now. And that means we have to go to lower prices because of that. For the people that were betting on higher prices, they're now taking their positions off the table here because they don't think they're going to get interest rate cuts anymore. All right, I see Dutchy in the chat. He says he's here for the Fibonacci, the fibs. Good to see you as well. Let's see. Let's get back into my analysis here on Bitcoin. So I still have the fib that I pulled from $98,000 Bitcoin, which we saw here on June 22nd. And I brought this all the way up to $124,500 Bitcoin that we saw here in the middle of August, okay? And if we are to come down the lower prices here, we do have the 0.32 retracement that could act as support at $108,200 Bitcoin. And this support level has acted as support back here towards the beginning of September, when we saw Bitcoin at 107,250. This is also a level that people were trading at towards the end of June here. However, we could go down to lower prices than that. We could see $104,000 Bitcoin which is a 0.236 retracement. And that's also where the 50-day moving average, I'm sorry, not the 50, the 200-day moving average is sitting at that red line right there, okay? So I'm starting to key on these levels, $104,000 Bitcoin and also $108,000 Bitcoin. If this 100-day moving average can't hold us as support, this blue line right here, we're not going to get a bounce off and a reaction off this level, then yeah, 108,000 is next, and then also $104,000 is next. And if we lose $104,000 Bitcoin, I'd say it's game over for this rally, this uptrend. I know some people were subscribing to the super cycle theory, but you know, super cycle theory doesn't take into account. It doesn't take into account, you know, a war that could break out between Russia and NATO. It doesn't take into account macroeconomic factors like high interest rates, killing off liquidity in the markets. Okay. I know some people were subscribing to a super cycle theory saying that, oh, we have Bitcoin ETFs pouring all this money into Bitcoin. Okay, but they can easily take the money out. As easy as they come in with the inflows, they can easily do the outflows and take that money out of Bitcoin. And you can see that right now, right? We're down $3,300 in one day here on Bitcoin, okay? So I was never a fan or subscribed to the theory of a super cycle. I still think we're going to top out in November or December of this year. I think the saving grace going into next month is going to be altcoin ETFs, like an XRP, Solana ETF, and some of these other ETFs that could possibly pour more money into altcoins. But the other thing that's kind of hurting us is the Federal Reserve is now thinking that the economy is all right because unemployment claims came in not that bad today. And then we still got an inflation, a PCE inflation report tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning, I believe. And if we still have inflation as an issue, they're not going to lower interest rates. And that's another reason why the market needs to come down. We might have another bad day tomorrow. Okay, and then maybe that bad day sends us down to 108K or 104K. Okay, but I think, you know, the closer we get, I mean, to 108K and 104K, you would think we would get a reaction off of these areas. We might not actually lose the 200-day moving average until, you know, sometime in October or November. I still think we got a bounce coming up here soon. Let's look at the oscillators, see how bad the oscillators are looking like. RSI on Bitcoin on the daily time frame is at 38. We're kind of like getting into bearish control territory. If we go below 30 on the daily time frame RSI, then, you know, Bitcoin would be considered oversold at that point. Let's look at the MACD real quick here. MACD. You can see that the selling pressure is building up here. You know, we lost the buying pressure. We started losing that buying pressure here on actually 2 weeks ago on Sunday the 14th. And buying pressure just slowly died off. And then we got the MACD flip this Monday. And then the red candle started building up. You're hoping that eventually, you know, to see a higher low get formed here, or to see a low get formed, I'm looking for like some pink candles to start showing up to show that the selling pressure is dying down. But right now, selling pressure is actually increasing, not decreasing. Yikes. Stochastic RSI. Let's see. Stochastic RSI is also relatively low, and it could stay low. And then Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B said that you got a red sell dot here on Saturday. That was your day to get out. And if you don't believe Market Cipher B, then you don't have to believe it. But it said that get out on Saturday if you were inclined to get out. And yeah, after you get a red sell dot, you usually get a few bad days after that. And right now, you can see that we're having a few bad days right now. I'm looking to see if we're going to get a green dot to come save our butts here. If we get a green buy dot, then that's when you could comfortably try to put in some longs here and try to buy back into crypto. But I recently just went over USDT dominance. Let's go back and look at USDT dominance. This is what is also warning me as well. Okay. USDT dominance at 4.67% right now. I have identified over my past live streams and over the past 2 weeks that we created a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, an inverted head and shoulder pattern that if it was to play out, the measured move measuring from the top of the head to the neckline here, and you put that on to where we could break out the neckline, it's showing that USDT dominance could get up to like 5.1%. That means money is leaving crypto and going into Tether. People are getting scared out of their crypto. Okay. So I did not like seeing that. That was not good, and it seems like we're playing out to the upside here for USDT dominance to go to higher levels here. We also were in kind of like almost an ascending triangle, and we're kind of breaking out of that ascending triangle. The only thing that is like a saving grace is you would think maybe the 200 moving average could act as resistance at 4.75%. We're slowly creeping up to that 200-day moving average, that red line at 4.75%. Maybe that's where people come to their wits and their senses and realize that it's not completely game over for Bitcoin and crypto. And people might get anxious to actually buy some relatively cheap altcoins. I don't know. But the other thing that was worrying me with USDT dominance is that we did make a high here. August 2nd was a pretty bad day in crypto, and we saw dominance get up to like 4.6%. Then over here on September 1st, dominance was also at its highest, where we got a 4.61%, and that was actually a slightly higher high than what we had here on August. And now here we are breaking through, and we haven't even made it into October yet. Not good, no bueno. Not good, guys. And of course, now dominance is increasing as I'm talking right now, up to like 4.68% on USDT dominance. So I am trying to get into a long here on SUI. I'm hoping that this is as bad as it gets this afternoon. Let me just see if my trade got in. Looks like my trade got in, and then I also got stopped out. Yeah. So just looking at my trading here for SUI, I bought in at 315. I put my stop loss at 312 because we had we came down to some lows here at like $3.12 earlier this morning. So I put my stop loss really tight, and I got stopped out at 312. Okay. So we're still making lower lows here on the price. So I took a small loss. I think it was like a $10 loss on that one, and I'm okay with that. We'll just have to wait to see if we're able to make higher lows here, and maybe this ends up being a double bottom, maybe. But yeah, I'm not gonna try to be a hero here. I'm gonna wait for my confirmations to come in, either a higher low or a double bottom, to be formed before I decide to go long on this market. And yeah, it looks like Bitcoin is nuking. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. Mars says Bitcoin is nuking right now. And let me also get back in the chat here for my YouTube guys. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Shubi says he always hits the like button 3 times. Appreciate that, Shubi. K Diggity says he's a habitual like smasher. I appreciate that as well. Thank you. We still got to get the likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now. We got 11 likes right now on YouTube. Let's see if we can get up to 18 likes, because we got 18 people in the live stream. Must be some lurkers in here. We just got to hit that like button. I appreciate that if you can. Let's see, what else is what else are you guys saying? What did Joe do, Shubi? I'm sorry, what did Joe do, Dutchy? You saying that Joe made a mistake? And Joe is saying from Trade Intuition, have happiness in your heart and your life is better. Being positive is always best. It's good to good to try to remain positive here, especially on a day like today. Let me give a shout out to Joe here. Hopefully the music's not too loud, but let me give a shout out to Joe. So guys, this is the Meet Damien YouTube channel here. Don't forget to check out my YouTube where you can see me go live, and you can also check out some of my videos here on how to use the Fibonacci and trade with it, and how to use the VRVP indicator and trade with it. Also, how to read a candlestick chart pattern. That's another good video for the beginners out here. But let's look at Trade Intuition's channel real quick here. Give a shout out. Trade Intuition. Joe has about a couple thousand subscribers here. He brought some of his guys over here, so I appreciate that. Joe goes live around the same time slot as I do, Monday through Fridays, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time. But he also goes live in the weekends as well. For those who are looking for TA during the weekends, you can find Joe live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Good guy to get some another point of view on trading. Also, if I'm not around, you might be able to catch him during the afternoon live streams here for crypto and TA. But yeah, definitely got to give him a look and give him a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Another good crypto YouTuber here. And then, of course, let me give a shout out to my TikTok channel. Guys, you can also find me here on TikTok, where I try to post up most of my content, especially the short form content. But you can also see my VRVP indicator video here on how to use the VRVP indicator. I pinned that to the top of the TikTok page, and then also you can find the Fibonacci video here as well on TikTok. And yeah, don't forget to hit that follow button as well for some technical analysis on your favorite stocks and crypto on the Meet Damien channel. All right. Mara says, be greedy when everyone is fearful, and be fearful when everyone is greedy. Yeah, this is a good time to try to buy some crypto, in my opinion. Buying on a red day never hurts to buy on a red day. Okay. I feel like shorting is showing up late to the party. Shorting would have been a good time this weekend to be entering your shorts. I actually did enter shorts on the weekend, but I cashed out on Sunday night and Monday. And I was trying to look for longs here over the last couple of days, but not really playing out. So my advice for those who are day trading this market is don't overtrade. I know it hurts to see your longs getting stopped out, and even sometimes with the shorts. Some people are shorting the market and they're still losing money. Crazy as that might sound, but it's because if you're putting your stop loss too tight, it's gonna get hit with all this volatility. So your best bet is to do low leverage and looser stop loss if you can, and not put that much margin in. You just let the volatility is gonna help you make the money that you want to make. So the volatility is your leverage. It's gonna play out, but you gotta have less leverage. Even for the shorts, you kind of have to have a tight, not a tight stop loss, but a looser stop loss, because you could have been shorting the last few days and have made a lot of money. If you kept your stop loss tight, I'm not tight, but if you kept your stop loss relatively loose and then move your stop loss, walk it up as we started losing the levels here. So I think that's what's going on. The shorts are getting paid right now, but as far as like the longs, like it's okay to keep your stop loss tight or even loose, but right now, I've had to walk back how much I'm trading them right now. Like right now, I'm only trying to enter one trade, and if that trade gets stopped out, like I was trying to trade Sui, I got in at 315, lost at 312. I might try to get back in again later on this afternoon or this evening after I can identify us making a double bottom or a high or low. Let's just take a look at Sui real quick here on the daily time frame. Sui making a nasty red candle here, down 7%, losing the 200 moving average. That 200-day moving average, that red line sitting at the $3.20. No bueno. Okay. But coming down to the 0.32 retracement, that's where I was targeting $3.12. If we're not able to hold this level, then SUI could come down even lower. We're looking at the 0.236 level at $2.08. So, I mean, you could try to enter a short, put your stop loss above the candlewick high of yesterday or even today at like 337 or 344. But I would still do loose leverage. I mean, you're probably entering in late on the short, but you're trying to see if you can have this thing pay you by going down to $2.80 here. And that would be my take profit on the short on SUI. I am looking for longs, though. I would like to long SUI because I feel like this could be possible double bottom action here, where we saw SUI come down to $3.11 on September 1st, and here we are coming down to $3.10. This could qualify as a double bottom. And if we get, you know, some positive catalysts tomorrow, maybe if inflation does go down rather than going up or staying the same, then we can get an Uno reverse that sends us right back to the 0.5 retracement at 337, and then maybe we come up to that golden pocket level at $3.60, 62 cents here. Yeah. Okay, so this is how I would play SUI. I would look for a long, like literally right now. Stop loss really tight at 307. Okay, give yourself some room to breathe here on the stop loss. They might still try to come for your stop loss and then send it up to higher prices here. So it's all depending upon how much you're willing to lose on your stop loss. I would still do less leverage. Once you start seeing maybe a Uno reverse candle, if we get some green candles here going into tomorrow and Saturday, the weekend, then you can add some more leverage and move up your stop loss, because this might actually end up being a double bottom here for SUI. Okay, but right now, because we just don't know what's going to happen next, we can only game plan and come up with probabilities here. The probability is that this could be a double bottom, and you just put your stop loss a little bit below, maybe 10 cents below where we're at right now. Leverage, not too much leverage, and then you're hoping for a long that's going to play out this way. But if you're on the short selling side, right, I mean, the move has already been made today. I don't know why I'm going to be shorting a bearish engulfing candle, but if you think you can play that game here, then you can take it down to $2.80, and then maybe put the stop loss above the 200-day moving average at $3.20, or even more conservative, just put the stop loss above the highs of today at 337. And then as this thing plays out to the downside, then you move your stop loss to break even, and you're hoping for that $2.80 target to get hit. All right, let's see what else we're saying here in the chat. We got to catch up with the chat here. Right now, Steve, I'm just looking at the daily time frame on SUI. I can go into smaller time frames, but I just, you know, unless someone requests like a smaller time frame, I stick to the daily time frame just to get a bigger picture view. The daily time frame, the higher time frames, they do hold more weight and credence than the smaller time frames. The smaller time frames is great if you're looking to get into like an entry. Like right now, I could go into like the 15-minute time frame on SUI and just try to see like, oh, is this a really good price for me to go long? And I think it is. I might re-enter the SUI long again and put a stop loss at like $3.05 or somewhere down there. But I think we should be due for a bounce, a relief rally at the very least, because we saw SUI at this price, you know, 24 days ago, the beginning of September. So you're just looking for a double bottom in this area. Matter of fact, let me see if I can enter that SUI long right now. So just sticking to like my advice here, if I do go long on SUI, let's knock that leverage down to like 10x for me for now. Usually I like to do 20x, but because markets are crazy, I'll do 10x leverage. Somewhere around like, I'll do 10% of the account for now. And then here on the take profit stop loss, I would like to see this thing get up to $3.60 if it could. And then the stop loss, put that at 302, 10 cents below, and I'll lose like $19 on this trade. And if this trade plays out to the upside, I'll make $91. I think also another area to look out for is 337. If it goes up to 337, I can make $47 on the trade, so I'll keep that in mind. But I will try to target 360 for now. And I'm going to open up that trade right now. So I'm now back in SUI again, trying to play the double bottom possibility here. I got in at $3.12. And my stop loss is at 302, 10 cents below us. If the trade goes against me, I only lose $19. If the trade goes in my favor, I make $91, getting back up to like $3.60 here for my take profit. Let me go back into the charts here for SUI on the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, I'm just looking to see if I can do this double bottom possibility here. I could take profit at 337. That's a Fibonacci level to look out for here. But 360 is where the golden pocket is. I would expect us to at least get back up there if we're going to be bullish on SUI. And it looks like on the 4-hour time frame, we also got the moving averages. The 50-day moving average is sitting at 358. So that could also be a target as well on the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, there you go. While everybody is panicking over here, I decided to go long on SUI. And sometimes I do like multiple trades. I'll do like 2 or 3 or 4 trades, sometimes 5 or 6 in one day. But with the craziness in the market, you know, I'm okay with being wrong on SUI and only losing $19. And then just seeing like maybe later on tonight or tomorrow, maybe I can try to get back in again on a SUI long. But I'm more interested in longs than shorts right now. I feel like shorting is showing up late to the party. Let me just say hi to some of you guys here. Say hi. On my TikTok, guys. I am doing a TikTok live stream on the computer, and I'm also doing a YouTube live stream using the phone here. And I've been live for like almost an hour now. You guys have any particular requests, any coins, any stocks you want me to take a look at? Dutchy said Joe just liquidated his channel. Appreciate you hitting the like button for me, Dutchy. Thank you. All right. Let me move this thing out of the way here. Let's take a look and see how Solana's doing. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, so Solana just nosediving. We lost the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame here. How much lower could Solana go? Where is my rest of my data here? I think I might have to reset. Let me reset my chart here. Let's reset trading view altogether. Did I lose my internet connection here? Oh no, please tell me it's not. Is my VPN messing things up again? Let's see if I can fix it with there. Oh no, it doesn't like that either. All right, gotta fix things here on my TikTok and internet connection here. All right, there we go. We got the chart back up and running again. Bitcoin at $109,000, still nosediving here. Okay, Bitcoin. But we were trying to look at Solana here. And let's get into the daily time frame for Solana. Where's my previous chart work? I had previous chart work here for my Solana. I don't know where it went. But I'll just quickly redraw the fibs here. So just measuring, wow, where the, yeah, I gotta redo everything here. I'm gonna measure from the swing low here in April, where we saw Solana get down to like $95 to the swing high here at 253 and see what we got for fibs showing for Solana. All right. Hopefully you guys are still with me here. But it looks like we're coming down to the golden pocket. 618 at $194 for Solana. You would think that should hold. Should hold for Solana. Most of the moving averages are still below us, which means that you can still be bullish on Solana. However, your support, if you were to come down to the 50-day moving average, that's sitting at $184. I don't see any confluence with any of the Fibonacci from that, but you do have 50-day moving average could act as support at 184. Maybe if we get another bad couple of days here on Solana, you could see Solana at 180 bucks, $184. We're not too far off from going into the $180 level for Solana. Let's see what the 4-hour time frame is looking like for Solana. Yeah, we just lost the 200 moving average. So looking pretty bad. 8-hour time frame. 8-hour time frame. You just lost the 200 moving average on the 8-hour time frame. Just looking at the different time frames, seeing if there's any support with some of the moving averages here. 12-hour time frame. You got the 200 moving average at $184. And that's also where the 50-day moving average is at on the daily time frame. Trying to see if there's any sideways trading action at that level. We topped out at $187 back here in May. And let me go ahead and turn the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to say. There is a pretty high volume node here at $177. Trying to see, come on, stop it with this. And yeah, I do see slightly high volume here at $183, $181 here for Solana. So maybe that's where Solana has to go to actually get some support here. That's rough. Oof. Very violent. Just a bunch of bad days in a row here. Sunday bad, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad days in a row for Solana. Yikes. However, as I start to zoom out here, you are coming down to the top of the value area, this value area high. I would still look for longs to try to play a bounce. If you're day trading this, you know, you gotta figure out how much you're willing to lose. You know, try to only risk. When I risk like $20, that's only like 1% of my account, my trading account. So that's where you gotta figure out where you're gonna put your stop loss, how much you're willing to lose out of your account. Because if 1% of my account, right, if I'm only losing 1% of my account, I can do that 100 times. I have to make 100 bad trades in a row to blow up the entire account. But I think you could look for longs now because you are coming into, you came below the value area high. But if it doesn't play out, then you could try to see if you can long this at that 200-day moving average at $184 for Solana. And you got the point of control at $177. That you would think would hold that support at the very least. Got a lot of support at $177. A lot of people bought Solana over the last year now at $177. So $177, they'll just be back at break even. They're not in a rush to sell. They're not going to click the sell button on you. You would have to lose $177 before those people start getting anxious to click the sell button. Yeah, this is no bueno, but could it be a buying opportunity? Let's get rid of the VRVP for now. You had a nice little uptrend on the daily time frame here. If I just connect the lows here, for the longest time you had a nice little uptrend. You lost that uptrend. Looks like you lost it on Tuesday here. Oh, very violent, very nasty. And this thing happens fast. Crypto, you know, like the saying goes, life happens fast. Crypto happens even faster. Like imagine that, like being up, you were up like $240 on Sunday, and now you're down to $194 on Solana. You had like a 20% drop in just a few days here. Yeah, 20% drop. And that can happen in 1 week in crypto. I know there's some cryptos out there that are even worse than that. You could lose like 20% in like 1 hour. Thank you, Dutchy, for letting me know that the stream is still going and still live here. I appreciate that. We're just looking at Solana right now. One of my biggest spot bags. I still think we're due for a bounce here. I'm still hopeful for October with altcoin ETFs. It's usually a better seasonality around October. Let's get back into looking at the Bitcoin on the monthly chart here. They're always good to zoom out. Oh my God, here we are. Bitcoin at $108,000 Bitcoin. Jesus, down $4,400. But looking at the monthly time frame, believe it or not, with all this blood in the street, we still have a green candle on the monthly time frame. We're still positive on Bitcoin. Bitcoin started the month of September at 108,247. Granted, we're only about $600 above that level, but we're still green. We're still in the positive. The month of August was a bad month for Bitcoin, even though we went up to 124,500 and made new all-time highs. That was a red month for Bitcoin. But man, oh man, look at this. You got a possible shooting star candle here. That's definitely a price reversal candle. It means that we could see some bad months ahead of us if we get follow through like this. But this is crazy because we also had kind of like a hammer candle here in June. Not really, because you still got a pretty big wick to the upside here. I gotta do some stuff here for TikTok. Hold on a second, guys. So annoying. Anyways, but you can understand, like, you got potential hammer candle, and then you got a shooting star candle. It's quite understandable why people are so frustrated with crypto, because you just have no direction. As soon as you start going up, you get knocked down, and then you get a shooting star candle on the monthly time frame here. It's not easy to read these markets. I mean, I guess it never was easy, or anything easy is not going to have anything worthwhile. But still, I mean, that is confusing. To me, that is confusing price action. You have a potential hammer candle. Okay, we went up. Then you get the bearish candle here with a shooting star. Oh my God. So price reversal. It's like flip-flopping here. Like, we're bullish. No, we're bearish. All within like 3 or 4 months time here. Let's look at the oscillators here. Uh-oh. Not good. On the monthly time frame, Market Cipher B is showing a red sell dot on September. Does that mean we got to go lower prices here on Bitcoin? Last time you had a red sell dot was in March. And we know how bad things were in March and April. You didn't get a green buy dot until June. But I don't really like using Market Cipher B on the monthly time frame. I feel like there's way too much lag on that. I like using Market Cipher B on the weekly time frame. I'm about to jump into the weekly chart here soon. But before we do that, let's just see what the RSI is looking like. RSI on the monthly time frame is at 67.39. Not too bad. We're not overbought like we were here in January and December and November of last year. However, you would think like if we are having a super cycle, why are we not overbought on the RSI? Why are we below overbought? Why? I mean, if this is a super cycle, if this is altcoin season, why is Bitcoin not overbought on the monthly time frame? It was like that back in this time last year, in November and December of last year. And we overbought on Bitcoin on the monthly time frame in like February, March of 2024. That felt like an altcoin season. That was when Bitcoin was making new all-time highs before the halving. But this is not altcoin season, cryptocurrency enthusiasm market right here. Not with an RSI of 67 on the monthly time frame. All right, let's get out of there. We're gonna look at the weekly time frame now. Weekly time frame here. Let's get back into Market Cipher B. No, don't want that. I gotta adjust these indicators here real quick. This is what was concerning me back here in August. On the weekly time frame, we had a red sell dot on Market Cipher B. That said that we were going to have a few bad weeks here, which I think we all know we had a few bad weeks since August, right? With Bitcoin at $108,000 right now. That weekly time frame sell dot came in on August 18th. That was your warning signal to get out of crypto. How many of us actually listened, though? You had a green buy dot here on April. That was like, hey, time to get in crypto. That was your time to get in. Last time we had a red sell dot on the weekly time frame was December of last year. Wasn't that a good time to sell crypto? December of this 2024? When Bitcoin was at like 100, I think it was at $100,000, and so was our altcoins were all doing pretty well around that time. Money flow then came down. Trump's tariffs scared people out of the market. And then we got the 90-day pause in tariffs in April, and then we came back up again. Okay, but here we are with a red sell dot. I guess you have to wait until we get an Uno reverse. We need an Uno reverse candle. We need a green buy dot. And that green buy dot hasn't showed up on the weekly time frame right now. So this is worrying me on Market Cipher B right now. Of course, on the weekly time frame, there's been warnings. However, we've been going up in price anyways. But we have, bearish divergence. Right, lower highs here on the weekly time frame for the price of Bitcoin on the RSI. This is not good enough, guys. We gotta invalidate this weekly bearish divergence. How come we can't make higher highs on the RSI for Bitcoin? This is just ending up being another lower high here in July. With all that enthusiasm, with Bitcoin going to 123K, it just wasn't good enough. We made a lower high here on the RSI on the weekly time frame. Just not doing what we need to do here. So I can understand why the bears are becoming more emboldened right now to send the prices down to lower prices for Bitcoin. Let's get into the daily time frame for Bitcoin now. Like I said, I still think if we lose 108K, we're coming down to 104K. That's where your 200-day moving average is at. Let's look at the oscillators here. Go into our cheat sheet first. Market cipher B, you had a red sell dot here on Saturday. That was good. You know, this weekend was a good couple of days to get out of Bitcoin right there. You're just waiting for a green buy dot to show up. That could happen. I don't know. I mean, we're waiting for it to happen, but could happen tomorrow. Maybe if inflation is coming down, that could put rate cuts back on the table again, back on the menu. So I think that's the only thing that's going to save us in the near term here, guys. Is we need to see inflation go down tomorrow. So that makes the Federal Reserve more comfortable to do another rate cut. And then we have to wait until next week. Next Wednesday is like the ADP jobs report. And then next Friday is going to be the official United States jobs report. So we might have to wait until next week for higher prices on crypto and the stock market. But I think tomorrow we could get our butts saved if the inflation report shows inflation going down. I don't know, guys. What are your thoughts in the comments here? Do you feel like inflation's coming down? Have you seen prices go down anywhere? I've seen the price of gasoline go up where I live, so I don't know if inflation is coming down. So Stochastic RSI at a pretty low level here, but it could stay low. There's no reason why it has to go up anytime soon here. On the MACD, still selling pressure is increasing. So you got to be careful. You could try to go long on your day trades here, but you could go long just knowing that you might get stopped out. And you don't want to overtrade. But even shorting is showing up late to the game. And if you try shorting right now, the payoff is not as great as it was earlier this week. And you can still get stopped out if your stop loss is tight, because they do come for the shorts every now and then. All right. Because I know I've tried shorting the last couple of days, and I've been getting stopped out. Probably because my stop loss was too tight, but still, you know, I feel like they still come for the shorts as well as the longs on their stop losses. Guys, I think I'm getting ready to end the stream. I hate to end it on a bad note, but I do want to hit the gym at some point here. I got DZ with a request. He says he wants to look at the IP and World Liberty Finance. I guess we can do that, and then I'll try to end the live stream after that. Red Film Set Series. What is this? You're saying you want me to turn the music down a little bit? Let me see if I can do that for you. All right. Let me know if that's better for you. Yeah, I got the volume turned down for the YouTube guys, but I guess it was a little bit too loud for TikTok. Oh, I'm sorry, DZ. I must have missed your requests. If you put it in there, I must have missed it. But we're going to take a look at IP, and we'll take a look at World Liberty Finance on the way out here. Let's take a look at IP. IP, I believe that's story, right? Oh, wow. IP down 25% today. Jesus Christ. Hopefully you're in the short. Could have got paid pretty well today on this short. Let's see. IP zooming out. Let me get rid of this previous chart work. I don't think this is no longer applicable here. Anyways, IP. What are we doing here? I guess I could do a fib here, but IP, I mean, you are still bullish. You're above the moving averages. Well above the moving averages, so there could still be more room to the downside here. But I'm eyeballing this sideways trading action here back in August, where you were trading at like $5-6 here. That could be where you come down for some support, but also there's still some sideways trading action here near $7.90 and $8. Before I do a Fibonacci, let me just turn on the VRVP. I feel like that's more useful right now. Okay, so VRVP indicator. The closest level to watch right now is this value area high at $9.70. You actually lost that. You cut right through it. But you got some high volume nodes here at 862. I think that's why we're chilling out right now at that area. And then $8.05 is another high volume node. But you got even more support near the blue line here. This is your point of control. This is the highest volume. This is where the majority of people bought Story over the last few months here. And that's sitting at about $5.90 here. Yeah. This is your support zone for Story. If you end up losing 790 and 860 over here. Okay. Let's see how this plays in with the Fibonacci now. Measuring from the swing high here down to, let's just bring it down to where we were in the middle of August. So you got a 0.236 level, I think, could come into play here at $8. Also got some high volume here at $8, around that area. But yeah, you sliced through a lot of your support. You sliced right through the value area high. You sliced right through the 0.382 level. 0.5 level didn't do anything for you. You did have a little bit of a fight here at the 0.618, the golden pocket. That was where the fight was yesterday and Tuesday. But yeah, I think the next level to look out for is $8. That's your 0.236 level for the Fibonacci guys out there. And it's a little bit of a high volume node here. Between 760 and 810. You just, I don't know, you just put your buy order in at 808 right now. That's your 0.236 level right there. So those are your downside targets for Story. Upside target, can you get back up to 618 at 1150? That'd be nice, right? That was where some people were trying to fight for dear life here at that zone over the last couple of days, but you lost that. So I think that's your upside target for now. Can you get back up to 1150? Downside target, you're getting close, but I think $8.08. That's where I'd be putting some buy orders in. And then, of course, you can just put your stop loss probably like right below the lows here and the sideways trading action at 749. Because if you lose 749, then you're going to come right down to like $6. You got a big gap in the VRVP here. And $6 is your next target if you lose $8. If you lose $8 and 750, you're coming right down to $6 here. Red Film says we're going to go down to 107K on Bitcoin. Yeah, that seems like a possibility here, and maybe that ends up being the double bottom, and maybe that's where we get some support for Bitcoin later on today going into tomorrow. And I think the other thing that we're kind of hoping for is the PCE report coming out tomorrow morning. Hopefully that shows inflation coming down. That's the only thing that's going to save us. If inflation's staying the same, that's not good enough. That probably means we'll just hang out at these lower prices for crypto. But if we have inflation coming down tomorrow, then I think that could give us a V-shaped recovery, hopefully. All right, so going on from IP, we'll take a look at the World Liberty Finance, and then that's going to probably be it from me today, guys. World Liberty Finance, a relatively new cryptocurrency. Don't have much data on it. Currently trading at 19 cents. As I start to zoom in here. Still got the VRVP here. I think it might be a little bit useful here. And actually, no, let me get rid of VRVP. There's still too many lines here. But looks like we're coming right down. I think I talked about this yesterday or the day before when you requested this. We're coming right down to that 0.236 level at 18 cents, 0.183 pennies. This is where I'd be trying to scoop up some cheaper World Liberty Finance if I'm able to do so. We haven't been down to this level since September 11th. We came down to 0.185 pennies. Let's see, today we came down to 0.187 pennies. I think anything below 19 cents is a steal of a deal for World Liberty Finance at this point. And you just put your stop loss like a penny below you. And if you're wrong, right? But at least you're not going to suffer by seeing this thing go to lower prices. And to the upside, we're still trying to get back up to that golden pocket at 22 cents, 22.223 pennies, this golden pocket level here. That's your upside target, which would be like a 10% move up in price. But yeah, don't go lower than 18 pennies, and you can still justify that you're making higher lows. You would just disregard all these lows here. But if you go lower than 18 pennies, then I mean this thing is now you gotta look at this with a bearish bearish lens camera, and you gotta say, all right, well, this was the high, lower high, and now you're making lower lows. You're in a downtrend, and you don't know how much further you're gonna go down. So I just put the stop loss like a penny below you, and you know, if you're wrong, but you're not gonna lose too much money if you're wrong. AD2 Miami, what's up to you? I am going to be ending the live stream here soon, but you can check me out on YouTube and rewatch the live stream if you want to on the Meet Damien channel here. Let me just go back here real quick to YouTube. You can see the rest of my live streams here, the replays on YouTube. They should do that for TikTok. I don't think they let you do that. But yeah, come find me here on YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can rewatch the live stream. We went over a bunch of cryptos. We went over USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, a few cryptocurrencies here. I tried to enter a SUI long. I think I'm still in that SUI long, but I'm down slightly. I'll get stopped out at $3.02 if we continue going lower, and I'll only lose about like 19 bucks if I'm wrong on SUI. But I am targeting like a double bottom on SUI. I think we might be getting some double bottoms here on Bitcoin and a lot of these other cryptos here. You know, right now for Bitcoin, we're just trying to see if we can catch the bottom that we made back here on September 1st at 107,250. Bitcoin might still come down a couple of grand right now to 107K. Get a bounce off that level, and then we might see higher prices. But I think that's what we're trying to game plan for now for the day traders and swing traders. Can we get a bounce off of 107K? Can we get a bounce right now? Can we just stop going down? And then this, instead of being a double bottom, this could just end up being a higher low. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, if we end up going lower than 107K, 104K comes into play. That's the next area to look out for on Bitcoin. And this is it. If we lose 104K, I'm out of crypto. I'm not trying to find out how far down it goes. I gotta start thinking about capital preservation at this point. And DC says he bought the IP dip and you're waiting for a bounce. Yep, hopefully. That would be the reason why you would buy the dip, is trying to play a bounce if you can. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. I'll try to go live same time tomorrow on Friday. Yeah, Friday. And then I got to get a haircut. I got my uncle's birthday. My uncle's turning 80. Oh, man, I probably shouldn't say that. because it is that kind of like a surprise birthday party. But yeah, I'm gonna try to celebrate birthday party later on this weekend, and hopefully my uncle didn't watch this live stream. But yeah, I don't think he did watch this live stream, so I think I'll be good. But yeah, I gotta get a haircut for that tomorrow after the next live stream here. But yeah, we'll plan on going live same time tomorrow, guys, and we'll see if that inflation report comes in good, and maybe we get a bounce, a double bottom, a higher low off of Bitcoin, and we could just stop being so nasty and so ugly with the price action. Even for shorting, it was still tough this week, unless you had your stop loss loose, because they were coming for the shorts as well over the last couple of days. But now it looks like the shorts got paid. So shorts got paid. Now it's time for the longs to get paid. Can we do that? Let's do that, please. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. And good luck trading in whatever investment you decide to get into. And just for my guy who was complaining about the music, we're about to turn the music up again. All right. Take care, guys. Hopefully that's it. The lows are in for today, hopefully. Bitcoin came as low as 108,600. Who was lucky enough to buy that level? Could still come down to 107. D2 Miami, I'm jealous. You were at the beach. Oh, lucky you.